Hey everybody, it's Wednesday, and that means it's
New Comic Book Day!
Alright, so what we'll do is we'll each review a couple, or two or three of the comic books that we bought today and what we thought of them. I'll start off. Alright, I picked up Outcast issue number 7, and if you haven't checked out Outcast yet, it's a good time to jump in. It's not a giant money dump, you only have 6 issues to make up, and issue number 7 just came out. Robert Kirkman writes it. Of course, he created and writes The Walking Dead. And it's kind of exactly what you would expect from a Robert Kirkman creation. Just high-level plot here. I don't want to give away any spoilers in case you haven't started and you'd like to. It follows a man named Kyle Barnes, and he has this supernatural power to where if someone is possessed by a demon, his mere touch causes this demon pain, and he can flush the demon out. Doesn't always work. Sometimes the person dies, but hey, you can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs. Issue 7 picks up, again, trying to keep it as spoiler-free as possible, it picks up a reverend is helping him, and the reverend finds out a member or two of his flock are afflicted, and the reverend is going to try his damnedest to take care of the situation without the help of Kyle Barnes. Probably going to be a mistake, but we'll find out in issue 8. What did you read?
My first one that I'm going to review is Ninth Generation. This is a continuation of the Aphrodite 9 series. It kind of seems like it's a new arc. If you haven't read the Aphrodite 9 series, I highly recommend it. It's only 11 comics. It's not very long. It was really, really good, though. Just a brief overview of Aphrodite 9. The Aphrodites were created to help mankind because mankind was kind of going down the shithole, and the story picks up with Aphrodite 9 awakening, and so the world's different. It's set in the very, very distant future, and mankind's basically really done a number on Earth, and it kind of revolves around Aphrodite 9. So that's all I'm going to tell you about the Aphrodite 9 series. The Ninth Generation is a crossover of Aphrodite 9 and Witchblade, and I really enjoyed Witchblade, and I really enjoyed Aphrodite 9, so when I saw the cover, I got really excited.
She squeed.
A little bit, yeah. So it's almost a continuation of the Aphrodite 9 story. If you haven't read Aphrodite 9, you'll probably still be okay reading Ninth Generation. It does refer to some things that happened in previously, but it also kind of gives an explanation for it as well. So if you don't feel like reading the Aphrodite 9, you could just pick this up and be okay. This is an independent comic. I am really, really huge on independent comics. Absolutely love them. By Image. And the artwork's pretty good. The cover arts are fantastic. The art throughout it is a little sloppy, but kind of like in a awesome way. I don't know. I don't know how else to explain it.
Would you compare it to maybe 30 Days of Night, like that?
No, it's not that sloppy. As you could tell, like sometimes they get a little lazy with some of the frames and they're not as detailed, but it kind of works for the story, so it's not off-putting. Okay, what else did you read?
All right. I read Princess Leia number 2. I'm a big Star Wars fan, love the Star Wars comics. I would highly recommend checking out any of them you can get your hands on, either Star Wars or Darth Vader or Princess Leia. This story picks up basically right after the Battle of Yavin. The first Death Star has just been destroyed. Leia is still reeling from the destruction of her home planet of Alderaan. In fact, it's so soon after the Battle of Yavin that word of Alderaan's destruction hasn't reached the entire galaxy yet, which I'm not really sure how plausible that is in this universe. I mean, in our world, if a city blew up, we would know about it within seconds. So the fact that the word hasn't spread about Alderaan through the entire galaxy yet in this, I don't necessarily buy into, but that's the story we're given, and we just have to live with it, I guess. But Leia in this, she actually does stuff, as opposed to, the 3 Star Wars films we've seen her in so far, where she's just kind of along for the ride the whole time. in Princess Leia, the comic, she is making it her mission to rescue the orphans of Alderaan. The Empire is out to obliterate every single citizen of Alderaan who survived, who was off planet during its destruction. And Leia is out to make sure the Empire does not succeed. The art in this is a little uneven. It's kind of cartoony, which is okay, but some frames, some panels, pages are way more cartoony than others. It's just a little uneven. The writing actually is fantastic for dialogue in a science fiction comic. Sometimes that can get a little iffy. The dialogue in this is actually really solid. And there's a new character in this. I'm not sure how to pronounce the name. It's a female character. This name is spelled Evaan. I've been calling her Avan. But I hope that character stays around for a little while in the new canon, because she's a really interesting character. She doesn't take any of Princess Leia's crap. She gives as good as she gets. Really fascinating character. I'm thoroughly enjoying the comic so far. It's on the second issue. Highly recommend it.
Alright, the second one I read was called Invisible Republic. This is another independent comic by Image. Now, this one here takes place in the future. It's off planet, or at least it gives the impression that it's off planet. And basically, this planet has been under a regime, and this regime is collapsing. And because it's collapsing, the entire world is kind of collapsing. Like, there's no more waste disposal, running water, electricity, stuff like that. Like, the whole world is just kind of going to the dumps. And there's a journalist on planet doing the story. And he accidentally comes across a bum who is burning a stack of papers that happen to be like a journal or memoirs of a cousin of the leader of the regime. And so I imagine that this comic is actually going to follow the journalist around as he's learning the story of how this regime came about, fell, and whatnot. The art in this is kind of more realistic type art. I would say it's kind of comparable to The Walking Dead if The Walking Dead was in color. So that's one of the draws that I had to, is the art was kind of interesting. And I'm going to do a third one because that one was really short. It's only issue number 1. And so my third one is called Descender. This is also issue number 1. This is a new series by Image as well. Kind of like Image. This one here is also in the future. It takes place off planet. It starts off where these large robots are kind of orbiting the 9 main planets, and then they attack. And after the attack, the entire society decides to get rid of all robots because they think that that has something to do with the attack. Fast forward to 10 years down the road, and there is one robot called a Tim model. He wakes up and all the humans are dead and on his little mining colony, and he is the only robot left. There are no other robots. They've destroyed all of them. And so he logs on, he like inputs into the system, and everybody knows now that there's a robot that's still alive. This story is, I imagine, is going to follow the Tim model, which is like it looks like a 10 to 12-year-old little boy. The art in this is pretty awesome. There's quite a bit of detail in a lot of the panels. Yeah, it kind of looks watercolor, which is really interesting. I'm really big, like if a comic has really interesting art, I'm all about it. And I really like dark topics as well, so this is kind of a darker topic. But I highly recommend that you check out Descender, issue number 1.
All right, that's it for this time. We will see you next Wednesday for New Comic Book Day. Thanks for watching.